Hey everybody, it's Kenneth again. Welcome back to the Shoegazer channel. Do you remember this guy here? This is the Zoom MS-50G. I think it made quite an entrance and left a huge impression on many musicians during the last years, being such a small and powerful multi-effect pedal for guitarists. I haven't talked about this pedal for a long time now because I didn't want to upload only content about this pedal. I know it's quite affordable for what it can do. I'm still a huge fan of this. As you can see here, I'm wearing a shirt of a very cool band called Lucid Express, a shoegaze band from Hong Kong, which I was lucky to visit on tour here in Berlin last year. Their guitarist seems to be a big fan of this channel, and he even played one of my Zoom MS-50G presets in his show, or maybe it was the MS-70 CDR. But it just proves that this pedal is even used by professionals. It's really powerful. This pedal has a long story actually. Some huge fans of this pedal and very smart guys from Russia even wrote an own effects manager for this pedal so it could use even more effects. I made a fun video about that if you're interested in that. But back to Lucid Express. The guitarist also told me that there would be a new Zoom MS-50G pedal, the MS-50G Plus, and look what I have here. It just arrived. After talking a while with him and enjoying the concert of Lucid Express, I decided to contact Zoom again and ask them if they could send me one of those and make a dedicated video about it. I'm not sure how many shoegazers bought this pedal because of my videos, but some of you even told me that I should be sponsored by Zoom just because so many people use it now. It's happened now and I got the new Zoom MS-50G Plus here in my hands. That's it. And as you can see, they created a solution for this one issue that the first version had. They made the stomps for the direction and selection options bigger, so now you can control them with your feet. Still, it's very tightly ordered, so it's a small pedal. You have to be skilled a little bit to reach these little stomps, but I think they're still huge enough because they're on the edges here, so you should reach them with your toes, with your shoes. I'm very excited for this. Let's see what are the differences to the old version. Let's go. Alright, so yeah, here you can see these pedals next to each other. It's basically still the same size. You can still use the pedal with two AA batteries. They have still very nice high quality metal enclosures. It's not silver, it's more white and black this time. And the foot switch is a little rounder, it's a little different from the old one with a blue ring around it. The MS-50G has this old mini USB input and the new version has a nice USB-C input. What I think is really nice, you have 4 poti knobs now and you can push them and you can switch them. And you have these memory and scroll buttons here, up, down, left and right. The old one had only these little rings here, which were cute and nice to have, but compared to this is a much better solution. You can see that, I guess. They made a very deep socket for the power supply, so it's much more stable now and very safe when you use it live, compared to this, which is kind of dangerous in certain situations. So let's power them up. You can see the screens are a little different. This one has colors now, it's a little brighter, and this is the old, very standard like Game Boy display. If you want to scroll to your effect pedal chain, you can do this here. You still have 6 positions for your chain. Now you can see the view is much nicer now here. In the old version it was here, in the middle. And you could see the effects tightly squeezed together here. So I think this looks much nicer now. If you wanted to change something in the old version, you just had to do this. And you could choose the next page then. This time you do the same, but you rarely have a second page here. You will have it sometimes, but it's mostly made for 4 switches here, which is also very nice and easy. The font is a little squeezed together now. I can totally understand. To get all the information in such a tiny display, you have to make some adjustments. Push to close. If you want to change an effect, you go to library. Then you just switch through the delay section. And I really love the menu here. The old menu was like you just push up and then you go through all the different effects. But the order was always a little bit confusing. The new version is ordered in a special effects section, which is yellow, in a reverb section, which is green, a blue delay section, the turquoise modulation section for chorus and pitch shifting effects, a red drive section, an orange filter section, and the dynamic section for compressors, limiters, and noise gate, and also the slow attack effect. Let's say I take this here now. If I don't like what I just did, I can go here to menu, and I can also revert patch now to previous. And now I have my early reflection reverb again. This is very cool. So this is the menu. You can move the effect here, wherever I like. I can give the patch a name. This one is called B Queen Dream. This is not a preset by Zoom, I made it myself because I want to demonstrate some shoegazy sounds here today. If you want to toggle through the memory, you just do it using the up and down buttons, which is very nice and looks very neat in my opinion. Here you tapped in the middle and you chose your position using this knob. You could not even use these buttons here, although it would feel like it, but you just used the middle switch. It's still a very lovely pedal in my opinion, but I really like the colors now on the display and that everything seems a little bit more intuitive. We can copy a patch now if we want. If we like something, we can copy Fresh Grapes, for example, to the position 11, execute, and we can make further adjustments on the sound if we want something else for a live show, for example. Yeah, we can just create a new patch here, which is also really nice. Here it gives you position 86 because there are the empty user spaces, but you can also use any position here. Let's choose Let's Dance, for example, and then on position 56 is your new patch. We can erase a whole patch, let's do that. This is also very useful and you can work much quicker now. Now you can see select effect. If you want to add a new effect, you just click here, or if you don't want that, you cancel it. You can also go to library and start from here, clicking through all the effects that you would like to choose. Yeah, here, for example, in the drive section, you have some preamps as well. Let's take this one. This is my first effect now. I also like that you have much more space for the names now. You have 2 lines here for names. It's very easy to rename something. Let's say we want to call this one Fuzz. It feels very smooth and easy, although it's very limited to this tight space here. You can also go in between these spaces and let's say you add something like that because it just looks cool. Okay, you go exit and then you have your new effect. We can also set up the output volume, which is really nice, so you can go up to 120 or even to 0. You have backlight, you can make it very bright this time. As you can see, it's much brighter than the old one. I keep it with normal. And again, the contrast. For this video, it's better to leave it like 9. Echo mode, turning the screen off automatically. You can reset everything, you can see the version that you updated, so that means there might be a new update at some point. You can set up the BPM time here for the delays and all the modulation effects. Holding the foot switch, you have the tuner. You have this nice option between different tunings, open A, open D, open E, open G. You have quite a good selection here. I'm not quite sure what this is. I think it's half steps that you can adjust, but I'm not quite sure. And you can choose to mute the pedal in this mode, or do you just want to run bypass. And you can still switch to 433 for the planetary cymatic frequency mode for your next relaxing yoga spa concert. Yeah, that's basically how it works. So now I think it's time to hear it. The pedal has a stereo output, so we use a stereo pedal here and connect our simple mono guitar pedal here. And then we're good to go. I'm using my Squier Jaguar guitar here with a long scale neck, and I customized the body myself during my time in the guitar workshop here in Berlin. So first let's tune the guitar. I will tune to drop D as I really like the tuning. I'm playing into a stereo IR of my Fender Princeton 112 Plus amp, because otherwise we couldn't check the pedal in stereo. I don't have two amps, sorry for that. But these IRs are accurate, they sound exactly like my amp. So this is my clean signal. Alright, I prepared some presets for you guys, because this is the Shoegazer channel. But wait, is this a preset called Smells Like Teen Spirit? Alright, let's get back to the shoegaze stuff that I made for you guys. You can just hold the memory down button and you are there. So what do we have here? So I chose a ping pong delay, the polyphonic pitch shifter, a vibrato compressor, a Fender Twin reverb drive, which is a preamp, and a reflection reverb. I really like the ping pong delay here because it has this funny stereo image. Yeah, and I love the polyphonic pitch shifter. Then I added a vibrato effect. Very lo-fi like. Then with some compression we can squeeze together everything a little bit more. Then I added some dirt with this Fender drive. And in the end, on position 6 is some early reflection reverb for the roomy effect. Remember, this pedal is made to play it right into your other effects or into your amp. So there is no cap emulation on it. I think there's one preamp with a cap, maybe two. So everything that you hear is also the sound of my amps. Cool. Next one I called Bubble Grunge. Compression and emulation of the Big Muff P, a chorus and a bright room reverb. For a digital pedal, I think this fuzz sounds really nice. Different pickup. Alrighty, next one. I also made a preset that reminded me a lot of bee wings. This is how it sounds. So you got a ping pong delay here, which was also used by Kevin Shields, who liked to use very short delay times to create. So you don't always need a reverse reverb to get this effect. Yeah. Then we have a polyphonic pitch shifter and the vibrator effect. I want to show you what you could do with this. It's very nice for lead lines or to create little hooks or something like that. Let's add the pitch shifter. I think it's a very interesting effect for, I don't know, a special guitar song for your next song. Okay, I created a preset that is called reverse reverb because there is no reverse reverb on this pedal. There are actually 100 effects on the Zoom MS-50G Plus. The old version, the Zoom MS-50G, had an update at some point, so it had 172 effects. And there you also had a reverse reverb, shimmer delay, the particle reverb, space hole, all that stuff. But this new version is very limited to pre-selected 100 effects that you can probably change using the mobile app, which is only available for iPhone users. I, as an Android user, would love to use this app, but I cannot. Even if I could buy the reverse reverb on the app, I wouldn't be able to do this without an iPhone. But I know that many of you guys love the reverse reverb on the pedal, so I created something for the people who don't have a reverse reverb on their pedal. I show you now how I would create a fake reverse reverb on this pedal. What do you want from a reverse reverb? You want to have a washy, reverby, roomy sound that stops immediately after half a second or around a second, I'd say. This gives you this pad-like effect that sounds super nice on chords. So how to create this pad sound? So I chose a ping pong delay here in short mode, no repeats, so that it stops immediately, 100% wet, and a time of 157 milliseconds. And then you have this. You have a stereo reverb here. That sounds pretty much like a reverse reverb, but it's still a little dry. So I added a dual delay here, which has two delay sides, left and right, to get a more washy sound. So here is 170 milliseconds, 160 milliseconds. I just let through a little bit of the dry signal, but the rest is quite wet. Without it was like this. Now you see it's getting a little more washy, and I chose a noise reduction tool here, so the noise gate, for example, to get rid of the beginning of the signal. Then I used some compression to make the whole sound a little more flat. You can feel it's sounding a little bit like a reverse reverb now. With this Marshall 59 drive, you can create this My Bloody Valentine-ish reverse reverb sound. So even if you just create this effect with this pedal and put it in front of your effects chain, you have a reverse reverb, in my opinion. Alright, so this is one of my signature sounds. It's a ping pong delay again, because I really like this effect. I also chose a little chorus effect by using a detune effect here that runs into a big muff and in a delay again. I chose the dual delay in the beginning to get that washy sound in front of the distortion. I think you get it. I really love this one. Maybe you know the American shoegazer Scott Cortis. He wrote a song that is called Cherry Bomb in his project Astro Bright, and I try to recreate the sound here a little bit. It's a very warm and white drive sound. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine this is all coming from the Zoom MS-50G Plus. I used a polyphonic pitch shifter and I set it up to 1 octave up, so 12 half tones up. It's a little more dry signal than the wet signal, and I left the tone like 50% because I used a 12-string guitar. I don't own a 12-string guitar, although there are some very interesting new ones on the market. But you can recreate this 12-string sound by using a pitch shifter and adding a octave note on top of your signal. So it sounds a little bit like you would play more strings. Let me show you. And now with, you know what I mean? It sounds instantly like more strings. I really like this trick, and I play this into a big muff with 100% sustain, very warm, so the tone is on 0 here. So it's very muffy now, but it's still in the mids a little bit too crazy. So I decided to add the Krampus drive here, and you can hear it's very noisy. And because it's so crazy, we need a noise gate to get rid of that noise. So this is much better, and with the graphic EQ here, I took out a lot of 400 and 800 Hertz here, and I added just a tiny bit of 3.2K Hertz here to get this. So without. Isn't that a cool sound? But in the end we need the doubler, and I love the doubler effect on the Zoom. And here you have your cherry bomb sound. I know there are many people who love the Cocteau Twins, so I made this one for you. So this is the Polex drive into a stereo chorus, into a ping pong delay, and that's it. I didn't do anything else. Here you have your Cocteau Twins sound. As a big fan of the old Darkwing Duck series, I created a Darkwing Duck sound. I just fiddled around a little bit, and this is what I came up with. So I went with a rack compressor into a low pass filter, and then in this vintage flanger, then in a pitch delay, and then in the rack compressor. For some reason it sounded like this. Maybe you like this one, I love it. Alright, and then there's my last preset for you guys. It's called Fresh Grapes, because it sounds like this. We had so much fun here. I want to show you that you can even create a whole song with this pedal, using, for example, this little Teenage Engineering beat machine and even vocals. Let's try this. So we connect our beat machine here. So I created this little beat here. So why not adding some distortion? And some vintage flangers. Or some ping pong delay. And compression. And some reverb. Check out this warp phaser here in the beginning of the chain. Isn't that cool? Let's make a little song with this. So this is how the pedal can sound in a shoegaze context. I hope you like this demo, and I hope I can share the presets in some way at some point, but I will let you know. If you want to have my Zoom MS-50G, MS-70CDR and MS-60B presets, you can do this on my Patreon page that is called the Shoegazer Squad, where I collect digital assets like presets, Ableton Live templates. You can download my complete music discography, early access news and behind the scene content. And you will also be mentioned in the end of my videos. By becoming a band member, you can download all the music assets that you desire. I'm not just a guy on YouTube, I'm also a professional musician. My music project is called Unkenny Valleys. I produce everything myself. I just released 2 albums in 2023. Give it a try on Spotify, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Deezer, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever you like. A huge thanks to Zoom and Sound Service here in Berlin for sending me the pedal. So what do you think? What's better? Will you stick with the old one or will you give the new MS-50G a try? Let me know in the comments below. I think it's a very powerful pedal As we know from Zoom, they will probably create a new effects manager as they did last time, and there will be updates. This is pretty fresh, this is pretty new. We're still in the early beginnings of these pedals. Let's see what Zoom will do. I hope there will be some more effects on it, especially reverb, special effects like bit crush, and maybe 1 or 2 more amps, maybe also some more big muffs or even a red distortion or something like that. I would wish for the old reverse reverb on it and for the gated reverb. But all in all, I think this is a keeper. These powerful controls can definitely improve your live show. This is one of the coolest pedals that have been released so far, in my opinion. I don't say that because this video is sponsored by Zoom. They gave me the whole freedom to say whatever I want about it. I'm really happy about that because this is exactly what I want to do on this channel. I want to give you my honest impression. And I hope this video was helpful for you. I hope I see you next time. See you later.